Hi guys, and welcome back to another Dot Race video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 21, continuing on with our MotoGP World Championship. It's time for round 6 here in Le Mans for the French GP. So starting in pole position is Fabio Quartararo with Grant and Bagnaia on the first row, Vinales, Rins and Miller on the second row, Oliveira, Zarco, Marquez, Mir, Martin, Binder, Petrucci, Morbidelli, Rossi, Marquez, Savadori, Nakagami, Espargaro, Marini, Bastianini and Leccaona at the back of the grid. So we look to the lights in second position and away we go. Decent start from Quartararo, decent start from Grant as well, but that's a good start from Bagnaia from the right hand side. Vinales on the left hand side, we're going to try and get through, we're going to try and regain our second position as Fabio Quartararo gets the whole shot going into turn 1. Brilliant dive over the inside from Grant. Grant occupies position number 1 for the very first time since, Vinales has gone down. Vinales went down second place or third place. Not sure what's happened to the Yamaha man, but he is no longer competing for victory contention as Fabio Quartararo regains the first position. Going into La Chapelle, he has got the right hand side, but we'll have the advantage for the left hand side. But wonderful exit speed from Fabio Quartararo on that exchange. Left hand side for Muse. Quartararo ran it a little bit deep. Can the Aprilia man get back up at the inside, getting a little bit too tight to the apex there as Quartararo has regained first position. We're going to go hard on the brakes going into Garage Vert. Can't quite get in close enough to Fabio Quartararo to have a lunge, but coming out of Garage Vert we might have a chance on the acceleration. The Yamaha not the fastest bike in the grid, and same can be said for the Aprilia as well, but we're getting closer to that engine upgrade that we desperately need. That's going to make things a little bit easier for us. That'll be the change in Catalunya, but for the time being, right hand side for turn 10, 3/10 of a second clear from Jack Miller behind. No sign of Johan Zarco as things stand. You know how competitive and how good he's been this season, but still we're managing to battle it out with the Frenchman for the first two positions. Left hand side will go. Can we go around the outside going into 13? Quartararo wonderfully positioned there for a lunge going into 13, but now in turn right 14 for Recordamon. We're right on the rear of Fabio Quartararo once again, not using power setting 3 for the time being. I do believe with this slipstream it should be more than enough to stay within range of Fabio Quartararo going into the Dunlop chicane. Now can we make a lunge just like we did in the previous lap? What a wonderful move that was, taking first position back again, but Fabio Quartararo tried to go around the outside. Bit of contact made there from the Yamaha and the Aprilia. Yamaha and Aprilia making contact yet again since last time out in Jerez, and both in Portimao we made similar contact as well. Don't think Quartararo is a fan of Grant right now, and we're not a fan of Fabio Quartararo after he pinched our pole position. Left hand side now for Muse for turn 7. Fabio Quartararo with a better exit speed as Jack Miller just less than 1/10 of a second away from getting onto the rear of the Aprilia. Don't fancy him getting involved, to be honest with you, as we now go into the right hand side for Garage Vert. Thought about a lunge. I definitely thought about a lunge going up the inside of Fabio Quartararo. Of course, in the video game, not very competitive as things stand, but who knows if he's going to be able to fight back and get himself in the championship contention as we go very tight to the apex and very tight to the rear of Fabio Quartararo. Full acceleration now going into the right-hander for the Blue S's, for the Frenchman leading. The fans will be going wild for Fabio Quartararo leading here in his home GP. Left-hand side will go for turn 12. Right-hand side 13 and 14 coming up. Not really overtaking positions available unless you're in 13 and you're close enough to make a lunge like we did 2 seasons ago in Moto 3 as we dived to the inside of John McPhee. Across the line we will go, and Grant occupies the fastest lap as things stand. Can we get Quartararo going into the Dunlop chicane once again? Much braver there, going around the outside of Quartararo, and hard on the brakes will go for the left-hander for turn 3. Wonderfully entered there. This could be it. I do feel like we've entered there perfectly, and that could be the moment that we retake the lead and go on to the promised land in first position. But for the time being, running a little bit wide into La Chapelle. Quartararo is yet to be seen though, 3.5 seconds down, 3.5 of a second down from us right now as things stand, as we now go into the left hand side as Maverick Vinales, the fastest man on track right now, with a 1:31.060. What a lap coming in from the Yamaha man. That's unbelievable. That's a shame he crashed, because he would have been so competitive here today. Of course, Maverick Vinales winning here last time in 2017. He would have loved to have come back here nice and strong to defeat the opponents once again. Of course, a bit of demons for Maverick Vinales on board that Yamaha, and rumours of him signing up with the Aprilia team next season in real life MotoGP, as we've ran it completely wide going into the Shimano buffs. All that work that we did has now been unfolded as Quartararo is back on the rear of Grant and will probably try and take us into the next couple of corners. We mustn't falter, we mustn't get into the situation that we did in Portimao and other tracks, where we sort of make a few mistakes as we get into the lead and allow them to take over at the front. We have an opportunity of a lifetime here right now for Aprilia. They are going to be sitting there with bated breath and biting fingernails. They're going to be going absolutely crazy as the Aprilia continues to lead here in Le Mans. Lap 4 of 9 is now underway. Quartararo in second position, Miller third, Bagnaia fourth, Zarco fifth. As Miller's gone down, something has happened to Jack Miller. The Australian has gone down, and Joan Mir has also been collected in that first corner, and that has just inherited Johan Zarco for third position. Is this the point where Johan Zarco turns into 7th gear and decides to go all crazy on us and go up into first position? I really hope we can hold him at bay, but unfortunately Johan Zarco in these sort of battles for the first position has been unbelievable this season. In virtual game form, we must have seen so many backflips as a Johan Zarco celebration, but in real life it's still yet to come. Hopefully can materialise that in real life, but for time being, back to the video game aspect right now. We are holding Quartararo and Zarco, the two Frenchmen. The fans will be going crazy. They have an opportunity of a French 1-2 if they can dispatch of this 27-year-old man from Warrington. He's occupying first position as things stand, and he is definitely in the way of the other riders right now for this wonderful sort of celebration for the Frenchmen if they can get a job done. But for the time being, nice consistent lap times coming in from us. Only a 10th of deviation on that previous lap time, and this one should be pretty good as well. Very similar pace to the previous lap time, and that's all it's going to be from now. Just be consistent. That is all we've got to do from this point forwards as we go into 13 and 14. Remember not to cut the apex there, because you will be handed a track limit warning. Across the line we will go. That's a 1:31.469 coming in for the 27-year-old from Warrington, the number 47, their Moto2 world champion, of course, as we now go hard on the brakes for turn 2. Nice and smooth, nice and controlled for the left-hander of 3. Right-hand side, we get a little bit of a slide there, a little bit too eager on the acceleration on that medium rear. Bear in mind, for qualifying, we did run a soft front and soft rear, but I find that in the race, the softs do not last long enough. I'm too aggressive on the acceleration, probably something I could improve on for the future, but for the time being, was doing pretty well with the medium combination. We've had podiums with the medium. We've never had a race victory, so hopefully the tyres will last, and we can also stay competitive and consistent to make sure we hold Fabio Quartararo and Johan Zarco at bay. But we're on to the right-hand side for Garage Vert for turn 8. Lap 5 of 9. There's still a few more laps to go in this one. Still in power setting 2 as well, don't forget. We haven't changed to power setting 3 in this one. I've been holding firm, staying confident, staying my ground with power setting 2, just in case anything happens towards the end of the Grand Prix. We've seen Johan Zarco and Fabio Quartararo both turn it on in real life and towards the end of the races. Zarco did it in the video game form. I don't fancy the chances, so I'm saving power setting 3. My tactic is always use power setting 3 whenever you need it. Try not to just abuse it and try not to just ruin it and just, use it up because it's there. I will always try and save it if possible. But across the line we will go, and that's another good consistent lap time. It's a 1:31.595 coming in for the way of number 47 as we lead another lap around here in Le Mans. Dunlop seems to be our favourite part of the track here. We seem to be very competitive going into the left-hander of 3 and the right-hander of turn 4. Now if you want to see a perfect double overtake in that corner, check out my Moto3 race here in Le Mans. I managed to get a wonderful, wonderful overtake on about 2 riders. It might have been 3, but it was a wonderfully, wonderfully executed move. I don't think I've ever been able to replicate that, ever again. Hard on the brakes now for the left-hander of Musée, turn 7, up by half a second. So things are looking pretty well. They are certainly trending in Grant's favour as things stand, but the pressure from the guys behind us, Quartararo and Zarco, they're making me nervous. I've got to be honest with you. My hands are shaking. I'm a little bit nervous on the controller, and there you go. We've run it wide. Our first track limit warning of the session. We went too hot going into the Garage Vert there, and I just couldn't stop the motorcycle without pushing too much on the front brake. So I don't mind us going wide there and taking the track limit warning, just as long as we don't lose first position, because we've got to do all that work once again. But for turn 10, we lost half a second. It's a bit of a mistake on my point, but we'll get back into it, as that's sort of given us a bit of a kick up the wazoo to try and get back into things. And I tell you what, even after that mistake, we're only down by a 10th on the sense of lap times coming in right now. So hard on the brakes, we'll go for 13. Right foot touching the floor. That Dainese boot, you know the score. Right-hand side will go now for the right-hander for turn 14 for Recordamon. Now full acceleration out of that corner, and that is our slowest lap time in quite a while. A 1:31.9 is the lap time from Grant. 10th of a second separates ourselves and Quartararo as things stand, but I'm pretty confident we can lose him going into the Dunlop chicane for 3 and 4. What a wonderful entry going into that corner. That is exactly how you respond after you've made a mistake. Just keep on pushing the pressure on Fabio Quartararo, because yes, they are putting major pressure on us, but we're also putting pressure on them by chucking in moves and lap times that they cannot compete with. The consistency has been great apart from that last little bit of a minor faux pas, but we still stayed on front, we still stayed on board the motorcycle, and we've still got a chance of winning here into today's Grand Prix for the French GP. It's so important for us right now. We're desperate to take victory. We've been denied so many times by the Frenchman Johann Zarco to take it victory here in the French GP in Johann Zarco's home after Fabio Quartararo pinched pole position from us yesterday or today at 4 PM. We have a wonderful chance here of just completely upsetting the French apple cart, but at the same time, I love the French guys, I love Quartararo and I love Zarco, but it'd be pretty good to just rub it in their faces and just to get one over on the French guys. But for the time being, going into the Blue S's, we'll have the 2 laps after this one, and I do feel rather competitive. I do feel rather comfortable on board this Aprilia right now. And look at Lorenzo Savadori in 8th position. That is fantastic for Sava. Not seen him up there this season, so brilliant job for him as we get across the line. That is another 1:31.7 coming in, so plenty of lap times in the 1:31s. Quartararo and Zarco have got to invent something to try and chase us down now. Either it's going to be a mistake from us, or they're just going to absolutely turn it on for the next couple of laps. But 2 laps remaining on this penultimate lap now. We run it wide into turn 3 and turn 4. We can repair it a little bit and just make sure we get the acceleration right going into turn 5 and for 6 for La Chapelle. But that is a little bit of a moment coming in from there, and there is Fabio Quartararo. He made me jump there. I had to go for a little bit more acceleration as I thought Quartararo was going to touch our rear tyre, but hard on the brakes will go for Musée for turn 7. Quartararo is still there. 3/10 of a second is the Frenchman behind. Oh, this is getting really tense now. Less than 2/10 of a second are both Quartararo and Johann Zarco. Nice and gentle going into Garage Vert. We may see Fabio Quartararo appear at the bottom of the screen yet again, but thankfully not quite as we run it a little bit wide going onto the rumble strip. That would have compromised our exit speed. Power setting 3 is enabled. Forget it. We're going to have to go for power setting 3 after the next lap after this lap is completed actually, and just try and defend as much as we can. But of course, when you put into power setting 3, there's another mistake coming in there for Grant. No track limit warning was given there. I'm quite surprised on that one as we go into the right hand side. But oh, there is Fabio Quartararo. This last lap has to be absolutely perfect from here on out. The pressure is well and truly on. Diamonds are made under pressure. Will Ace respond? Will we hold on to the end? We'll have one more lap after this one concludes. Across the line, it is going to be our first lap time into the 1:32, so we have chosen the worst possible time to falter. We must survive. Power setting 3 is enabled now. Let's see what we can produce on this final lap of this French GP. Left hand side for 3 will go. Right hand side for 4 as well. Nice and tight to the apex. Beautifully done there for Grant. A little bit too eager on the acceleration. Just spinning the rear up going out of turn 4. But onto the right hand side now for La Chapelle for turn 6. Quartararo still remains 3/10 of a second behind. Still not close enough just yet, as we are up by 1/10 of a second compared to our best lap time set earlier on with a 1:31.469. His final lap is certainly brewing for a good one, isn't it, guys? Up by 3/10 of a second to Quartararo. You know Zarco's there. Maybe Zarco fancy just getting ahead of Fabio Quartararo. They've both been very smart about this one. Not fighting, not exchanging blows, just staying behind me, waiting for that opportunity. But power setting 3 is enabled. This could be the difference maker. Oh, it's still 1/10 of a second. 33,000 of a second, Fabio Quartararo. There he is on the right-hand side of the screen. This is not over yet, ladies and gentlemen. We have to defend with everything we've got now. A little bit of a track limit warning coming in there for Grant. Technically, that should be it. We should already be demoted a position, but thankfully the video game doesn't punish us for that one. Now running it wide into the Blue S's. The front end of that Aprilia was chattering going into that corner. Left-hand side for 12. I think we've got the job done. Unless Quartararo's going to lunge it into 13, I think it's curtains. We might have got the job done. Running it into turn 14. A little bit of a wide there, but it's quite all right. The job has been done. The French fans beckon Grant for his first victory in MotoGP. Quartararo and Zarco second and third. Victory for Grant for the first time this season, for the first time in Aprilia for God knows how long, 21 years and more. We have finally taken the top step of the podium in MotoGP. Fantastic performance, we finally get the job done, and Lorenzo Savadori in 8th position is a wonderful finish for the Italian. So let's have a look to see what that's done for the championship standings, and there it is. Johann Zarco's championship lead has been cut down by 9 points now to 26. Bagnaia moves up to 3rd place with 48 points behind, and Fabio Quartararo, the big winner today, moving up by 4 positions, now only 55 points behind fellow compatriot Johann Zarco. A look at a team championship, and I tell you what, that's brewing up quite nicely. Pramac Ducati lead by 11 points ahead of Aprilia Racing, and look at that. They are now ahead of Ducati Lenovo team, so ahead of the factory Ducati team. The factory Italian team of Team Grassini Aprilia is now in 2nd position, just like Grant is for the Riders' Championship as well. Finally, a look at the Constructors' Championship. Obviously, it's quite apparent why Ducati are leading with their teams being 1st and 3rd currently right now, but I guess now it's time for our very first podium celebration on the top step of the podium. Celebrations are well and truly in order for both Grant, the Aces, and this Nawale team. We have finally got the job done and put the Aprilia on the top step of the podium. What a wonderful celebration this is going to be. I had a great feeling in Le Mans, and we have actually completed our triple of Le Mans. Victory in Moto3, victory in Moto2, and now victory in MotoGP. A 100% win record in this track, and got to say, I am so pleased with this one. This has been well deserved. It's been well fought for, and I'm so proud to finally get the Aprilia on the top step of the podium, because honestly it's been really tough. After Qatar's disaster, I did think that we were going to have a dreadful, dreadful season, but I'm very pleased to say that it's been quite the opposite. But guys, look at that performance from us. Top step of the podium. It means so much to us, means so much to my Indonesian crew chief, and it means so much to you guys as well, I'm sure. But guys, upon that note, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy the podium celebrations. Like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed, and hit the notification bell to be alerted to every single Dot Race upload. Thanks for watching, guys, and ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more Dot Race content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single Dot Race video.